Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's get right to it. An Idaho family is speaking out against Clearwater County deputies who shot and killed their son. 48-year-old Mike Trappett was in crisis, holding a knife and threatening to harm himself. He was shot 15 times. His family wants those deputies to face criminal charges. New at 11 tonight, our Kyle Simchuk is looking into the investigation and what the family is demanding.
Well, the Clearwater County Sheriff's Office says Trappett was drunk and being aggressive. His family says he struggled with bipolar disorder and was only a threat to himself. They believe this situation could have ended peacefully.
Mike Trappett was his parents' primary caregiver. He was passionate about helping the elderly and hospice patients.
He often held their hands so they wouldn't die alone.
Mike struggled with depression and bipolar disorder. He recently started drinking more after his dog died. In the early morning hours of January 31st, he grabbed a knife in his parents' kitchen.
His mother called police because she was afraid that Mike would harm himself. He has never had a history of aggression towards others, only to himself.
Clearwater County deputies were dispatched to their Orofino home. They found Mike outside, still holding the knife.
And then he said, "Mike, drop your knife." And then he said, "Mike, I don't want to have to do this."
Deputies told Mike's mom, Jackie, to go inside and shut the door.
And immediately upon shutting the door, they shot and killed Mike. 15 shots, 10 from one officer, 5 from the other.
And I started to go out because I wanted to hold him. And he said, "Don't come out here, you don't want to see this."
Attorney Stephen Stubbs says deputies altered the shooting scene by moving patrol cars before investigators arrived.
And that's important because use of force is different if there's other things you can do, like hide behind a car.
Mike's parents witnessed the shooting, but say they still have not been interviewed by investigators.
They went over to the neighbor's house and pressured the neighbors to say that Mike was aggressive and that the family was afraid of them. Those are investigators that have come to a conclusion before investigating and are trying to protect their officers.
The 2 deputies involved have been placed on administrative leave. Mike's family wants them charged in his death.
He left a huge void in our lives, and he didn't deserve to lose his life this way.
The Clearwater County Sheriff's Office did not respond to our request for comment. The Lewiston Police Department is investigating the shooting and told us they are unable to comment. Those deputies involved were wearing body cameras. Mike's family and their attorney believe those videos will prove this shooting was not justified. In the newsroom, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, a man was sentenced to more than 5 years in prison after assaulting a woman, stealing her car, and being in possession of a bomb. In 2019, Timothy Richard Ray Riggins was arrested in Moses Lake by police when they found him hiding in a washing machine. During their search, they found a fanny pack with a large firework with 20 nails taped to the outside. Riggins is a member of a criminal street gang and already had an active felony warrant. Following his 5.5 years in prison, he'll be under federal supervision for another 3 years. And happening tomorrow, Governor Jay Inslee is holding a press conference to discuss the next phase of Washington's COVID response. He'll be joined by Washington Superintendent of Public Instruction Chris Rakedahl, Washington State Department of Health Secretary Umar Shah, and Deputy Secretary for COVID Response Lacey Fehrenbach. So watch KREM 2 News for coverage of that press conference, or you can catch that on our website, which of course is krem.com. The Richland School Board voted to remove its mask mandate last night, effective immediately, although they did not have school today. During a special meeting, members voted 3-2 to make masks optional in district schools and facilities. Now all Richland schools have been temporarily closed while the district figures out its plan to move forward. That vote follows one by the Kettle Falls School Board Monday night. Yesterday, Kettle Falls students and staff had the choice to walk into their schools without a mask. The state superintendent says Kettle Falls has 20 days now to comply with state masking laws, or the state will withhold funding from the school district. In about 5 minutes, we'll share more on why dozens more Eastern Washington school districts want to end the mask mandate in their schools. Happening tonight, a local high school student came together to share their artistic perspectives on the Black experience in Spokane. 6 Black high school students had their pieces published in the Spokesman Review and were invited to share their stories at a symposium. In addition to that, Spokane native turned Hollywood producer Mandy Price was a guest speaker taking part in a discussion on the importance of representation with Spokane NAACP chapter president Keonta Duncan. Tonight, nearly 1,000 energy assistance appointments have been scheduled through SNAP for people who need help paying for their energy bills. In 2021, SNAP provided energy assistance to more than 15,000 households that needed help during the pandemic. People who have not received assistance since October may qualify again. To see if you qualify, you can check the requirements at that website right there at the bottom of your screen. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Deputies released the name of the man who was killed earlier this month in Spokane Valley. 34-year-old Joseph B. Quinn died after witnesses reported yelling or arguing, followed by gunshots near East Montgomery Avenue last Sunday. 10 days later, and police are still searching for a suspect. Witnesses told police they saw a person leave the scene after hearing gunshots in that area. Investigators are asking if you have any information about Quinn's activities before the shooting to please contact them at that number right there at the bottom of your screen. And firefighters were called to that intense garage fire on South Regal. Look at those flames. The fire, which started in the garage, that garage now completely destroyed. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
I think it'll make a lot of sense to drivers. The green paint will make it quite clear what's going on. There'll still be plenty of space for the vehicles. There'll still be parking. And it just kind of allocates everybody their own space. So it's almost more predictable.
A 9-block section of Riverside Avenue is about to get a major facelift aimed at improving safety for cyclists. The city of Spokane is moving forward with the plan to add protected bike lanes on that downtown street from Division to Monroe. According to city construction plans, the 4 lanes on Riverside will be reduced down to 3, and that will make space for bike lanes on both sides of the street. Construction on Riverside is expected to begin coming up this spring. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. All right, let's talk weather. It was a spring-like day today with plenty of sunshine, but how long will it last? For the answer, let's get straight out to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what can folks expect when they wake up tomorrow morning?
Yeah, careful when you say it's going to be spring-like because it is still February and we will still have winter weather in our immediate forecast. However, still pretty nice weather for the rest of this week, but clear skies for tonight as we see even those high clouds have departed. Full moon shining brightly in the night sky for tonight, so it will be sunny by the time we hit tomorrow morning. Still on the warm side of the jet stream at the moment. Large weather system starting to take shape across the eastern half of the country where there's going to be heavy snow, heavy rain, strong winds, and even severe weather come tomorrow. Rather large weather system for Thursday out east. But for us, as I mentioned, sunshine hitting tomorrow morning. Still going to see temperatures well into the 40s for a couple days before winter comes back in full come next week. We'll show you just how cold those temperatures are expected to be come next week.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. At least 44 flights near SeaTac Airport have been hit with lasers over the past 10 days. The FAA says 12 of those laser strikes happened overnight. The Port of Seattle and the FAA are asking for the public's help finding those responsible. So if you see someone pointing a laser at a plane, you are urged to call 911. And staying in King County, the county will no longer require businesses to check patrons' COVID-19 vaccination status starting March 1st as case rates and hospitalizations continue to drop. However, King County officials say businesses and organizations will still be able to require their own vaccination requirement if they choose to do so. Well, it is masks off now at Disney. The most magical place on earth is dropping its mask mandate for vaccinated guests. The change effective starting tomorrow. Disney World says guests will still be required to wear masks on enclosed transportation like buses and monorails. Disneyland also plans to drop its mask mandate for vaccinated guests. On the European front, the crisis in Ukraine keeps growing as the U.S. continues to warn that a Russian invasion could happen at any time. The Biden administration says Russian media is pushing misinformation, including false reports of genocide and mass graves in Ukraine. U.S. officials also assess that Russian hackers have likely targeted the Ukraine government, including military and critical infrastructure networks, in order to collect intelligence. All right, don't go to bed just yet. Several Eastern Washington superintendents sent a letter to the governor today urging him to end the mask mandate in schools. We'll share what else was in in their letter coming up. Also ahead, an update to a Creme 2 investigation into the Spokane shock. We are back in just 90 seconds.